How are you all doing today? Good to have you. Callum's here, Broma Sapien as well, and Tiedemann. Good to have you all. I will say that the 10 people we've got here already, you're my favourites. Most of you have liked the stream. Good stuff there. Oh, that was the sound of a crash. Hopefully nothing on my end. Oh no, Ed Moores is here. My nemesis. Not my nemesis. Only in public. Pretending to be busy at work as always. Hell yeah. What do you do for work, Broma Sapien? I didn't peep the list ahead of time. Any on Metabret list made fun and fluffy by adding Knights of the Realm on foot. I think Knights of the Realm on foot are interesting. That if you want to go more points denial, then you can absolutely use them there, or you can use them as sort of like a backline to protect artillery to some extent, or you can use them as just like the cheapest of cheap, because it's cheaper than Knights of the Realm, so you can just go Knights of the Realm on foot, and that gives you some value there. 1,000 points of Goblin Archers, 1,000 points with hand weapons and shields. I'll be unstoppable. Hell yeah. Hey, Existence, how you doing? Daniel says, can a character join a Wood Elf Beast Pack? Is the Beast Pack considered infantry or war beasts? I think, I'm not 100% sure on mixed troop types, and I'm not actually sure if there's much clarification for it. I think they count as both, so you get the benefits of infantry, unless something in War Beast says you can't join this. It would depend on the wording specifically, so we'd have to double check that one. You got Knights of the Realm on foot charging to Graveguard. It was sick, and then they all immediately died. And then the Graveguard doubled in numbers. Because where do you think Graveguard come from? That's right. Knights of the Realm on foot, baby. It's a really nice kit, though. I am hopeful that something human with great swords is going to be worth running in the future. One of the two of those. Alright, how's everyone doing? It is warm as balls here. I've just had a shower, so I'm looking a bit more bedraggled than normal. Hence the slicked back hair. Although I do need a haircut. I'm well overdue on the haircut. But also, my shirt, I was just like, I'm going to run this under the tap, so it is sodden, and it is keeping me cool. In about an hour's time, I'm going to regret not having another cold shirt to change into, but it's good right now. Characters can join beast packs if all the beasts die and only the handler is left. Very, very good. Thank you for that answer. It's skirmishers that stop it. They don't have another formation, so they need to match the unit type exactly. Ah, good shout, Warp Phoenix. Yeah, good shout. It's War Beast Cav and Infantry, so probably not. Yeah, that is a bugger. Ed warm as balls. Just get aircon. I've got a fan. It's not quite the same. I am thinking about, because I'm potentially, looking to just do this full time. I'm potentially thinking about turning this place into more of a reasonable office. And I was watching a League streamer that I quite like, who was walking on a treadmill at a standing desk. And I was like, that'd be a good way to find time to get some more walking. So maybe that's something that I look into. Andrew's here. Yeah, it is hot, isn't it? Busy building Beastmen mini list, though. Hell yeah, Andrew. Wouldn't it be the majority of models tax write-off aircon? Yeah. If there's a way to tax write-off the aircon. If there's a way. Hey, Martin, how you doing? I've just had a horrible thought. Let me just have a look here. Did you submit a list when it was closed? Let's have a look here. Let's have a look. No, that's fine. I thought for a second that you'd submitted a list and I'd missed it, Martin, but I don't think that's the case. At least I really don't think that's the case. Anyway, should we start talking about some Warhammer? I guess we could do that. If anyone's keen. Walking treadmills are solid to use mine. Yeah, absolutely. So, I'd have to play around with the audio, but this thing has directional audio, so I can set it and probably angle it so it's a little bit below me but pointing up, so it's directionally pointing away from the sound of me walking. But then also just put a noise gate on, and hopefully that would help not pick up the other bits and pieces. But it's, something that I'll need to play around with for sure. It's one of the many options. There we go. Let's get some music going. Alright, so, and I didn't prepare this ahead of time. Let me just see if I can find the picture that I put in. Because somebody sent me an actual physical list. Someone who I've done some commission model building for, who has my address, and we had a mutually assured pact of not doxing each other, decided to use that information to send me a list made physically. Yield paper. Oh no. No, no, no. Not paper. I'm not actually mad about it. It's just funny to pretend that I am. Let me find you this, because there was a lot of work that went into it. What's funny is I actually don't use Discord at my PC very often. Let me just filter in here. Yeah, let's have a look. While I'm looking for that, what's the thing that people are most excited for with the upcoming FAQ? Because it is weird, isn't it? Oh, that's the other thing I was going to say. If you don't have models at the moment, hold off on buying stuff. I don't want my advice. All my advice is going to be in the context of what's around now. Just hold on. Don't buy things currently, because we don't actually know what's coming in the FAQ, so we really don't want to see... You know, I don't want you to spend money that doesn't... Yeah, excited for the dragon buffs. Literally mail you every model in the list, and it's all what you see is what you get. That'd be cool. That'd be great. I'd have to work out what the magic items are. They're like, oh, this is a bow. Now, I know what Ed likes. Spoilers, it was Ed. But, yeah, that would be one way of doing it for sure. Let's have a look here. Combat res in the game. More combat res in the game. Yeah, I'd love to see more static combat res. Mail me a list and unbuilt models, put the full blame on me. I mean, if you want to pay me to build them, I can do that. That would be the next level of commission building. That'd be really funny. Alright, here we go. Let me just copy and paste that in. This should work. Oh, I don't have to resize this. Fun thought. Taking a Dark Elf Medusa, if it could take 25 to 50 points of magic items. Maybe. Maybe. So this is a picture I took of a list that I got through the post. Now, this is wood. This is actual wood, and it has been engraved with some nice little lines up at the top here, because it's trace. And new list, please fix, 2,000 points, High Elf Realms, and this was done by our very own Ed. So thanks for that, Ed. This is brilliant. I love this. The funniest thing about it is that it's illegal. You've written an illegal list. It's MDF, yeah. It's MDF and it's illegal. You can't have, unfortunately, a Lothan Skycutter in the Tracian Hunt detachment. Christian, it says no wax seal, 0 out of 10. Now, I'm not going to say if there is or isn't one, but from this picture, maybe there was one on the envelope, you know? He went to a lot of effort to put that in. Not even a dwarf can put that in the Book of Grudges. No, not at all. This is brilliant. I really like this. This is high effort work. I will say, it is a little bit don't dare to open inside, which I understand is because of the fitting everything in. However, so we've got characters, then core, but then we've got rare, then special. I think we should have probably had special, then rare. It's a very, very minor, quibble. I'm not actually complaining about that. I'm just close Steam as well. But yeah, isn't that cool? That's really fun. So we should probably just start with Ed's list. Let's do that. Now, this is a Tracian Huntsman list, and the Archmage cannot go, unfortunately, on a Lothan Skycutter, because you need to have the specific the specific Elven Honor that allows you to unlock it. So, the closest we can do is we can put them on a White Lion Chariot, which is pretty decent. Hey, Surrenders, how you doing? Life been busy as the Beast Boys came out? Understandable. Understandable. Missed the part where they FAQ'd all Brett players to officially be big nerds. Love that. Coming out swinging. Coming out swinging. Needs more chariots. It's got a few chariots in there. I respect the number of chariots it's got. I think this is good. So, I'm going to put you on a lion chariot of trace, because that way you can legally have the chariot there. How come you aren't using a laser to engrave the MDF when fixing the list? That'll be for when I send it back. And to be clear, that is a lie. I will not be doing it. Given that I don't have one of those available. So, Core Hill on a chariot, great stuff, love that. General, fine, no problems there. This Archmage is really nice. It would have been even nicer on a Skycutter, but alas. Silvery 1 for the 5th spell, Talisman of Protection and Power Scroll. It was battle magic, wasn't it? Let's just go back to the picture. Yeah, battle magic. Okay, I like battle magic. And we may as well give it a free Tracing Great Blade. So, this is, I think, between two jobs. If you're battle magic and you want to use it as a mobile caster, I think you don't bother with the Power Scroll and you go Ruby Ring of Ruin. That's the loadout I would go. And then if you've got points, you'd go for the extra Power Scroll there. So that would be the tweak that I'd make here. And the Noble, we do have to shave some points. Got an Opal Amulet and a Seed of Rebirth. Opal Amulet's really nice, but we are 12 points over. So I think we're just going to suck it up and go... Keep the Seed of Rebirth. It's very good, obviously. I want to give you Dragon Helm, but I also want to give you... Let's go Enchanted Shield here. And we'll swap you over to a Lance instead of the Great Weapon. So you've gone BSB Battle Banner. I think the Battle Banner is really expensive to have in the character slot, but you have used War Banner elsewhere, so I respect that. Late to the party, but good evening. Hey, Goldfire. Let me just flick back across that. Look at what Ed did. You may have seen it the first time round, because I did post that in the VIP lobby a little while ago, but we are fixing Ed's list currently. So this way we've tweaked the characters around. Could swap the Talisman in Mage to a Seed of Rebirth. Oh, that's true, actually. That's a really good shout. That is a fantastic shout. Seed of Rebirth. And then, if we're doing that, that lets us go here. Let's go Charmed Shield in that case, because we're also going to go for a Dragon Helm. So that gives us a better armor save, so I'm less worried about things like... No! They can't ban my Pegasus Knights! Whee! Like that. Yeah, no, I think... I don't want Bretonnian players to be upset, but I do want Bretonnian lists to be worse than they are currently. That would be good, I think. Oh, and we may as well give this Pure of Heart. Was that on the list already? Maybe I've just missed that one. Pure of Heart here. Yep, it was... I will not besmirch your good name. You did click the button correctly. Well, type the words or engrave the words correctly. So yeah, we've tweaked the characters around a little bit here. And then you've got your core. You couldn't hear that? Oh, I'm so sorry. Hold on. Let me see if I can play that again. Is there a way to... You besmirch my good name. No, I don't besmirch your good name. I think I'm honest about the things that you do. That's fine, yeah. Well, definitely unmuted on my end here now. Let's just have a look. Yeah, I don't think there's any way to replay it. My apologies. That was the my favourite part of the upcoming FAQs, when they ban Pegasus Knights, then Bretonnians get a new faction rule called Coping and Seething with the Lady's Magical Elven Bathwater. Remember when that was a thing that someone just did? Wild. Oh, you did have the Ruby Ring of Ruin here, didn't you? Yes, I'd forgotten about that. I still think I prefer... Honestly, I think I prefer it having it on the Wizard. I know you lose the Power Scroll for that privilege, but it does mean that you've got a more mobile casting platform that's more sort of like fit for purpose. Welsh accent now. My favourite part of this upcoming FAQ is when they ban Peg Knights, and then Bretonians get a new faction rule called Coping and Seething with the Lady's Magical Elven Bathwater. Which is fit for purpose, because elves are obviously Welsh, as I have said many times. Monkey Paws Curl. Bretonians get 2 Wound Grail Knights. They can now fly in skirmish formation. I was with you up until you said fly in skirmish formation. Maybe just using a Welsh accent for now for the whole stream. I don't know that the people want that, honestly. As funny as that is to me. I'm not necessarily against it, but I don't think it's, you know, it's not what the people want. We are a point over here. How do we fix this? I do like that you've gone for ambushes here. Getting down on drops is pretty decent. I think I'd be tempted to actually give the second unit ambushes as well. I know that means that we have to shave some more points, so we maybe just go down to 7 and 6. And that gives us enough points here to go. We've got full command there. I guess we just go back to having the High Sister, but just no Ruby Ring of Ruin. That's probably the way to do it. Can't do a Welsh accent, it's too elegant, and I come from crude places with seagulls the size of raptors. I mean, me too, buddy. I come from the northeast of England, and the school was, we could go out for lunch in my secondary school, so there was just constant rubbish on the school field. So there were just flocks of seagulls. We're only about 20 miles from the sea as well. Oh, almost posted that in the wrong place, but if I go at Ed... Perfect, that's the one. He wanted to force opponents to think about potential backline threats. That's fair. I like that. I think it's still... like, you're not wrong to do it. I really like it just as a... If you don't have points to fit it in, it's good. The 24-inch range and the 30-inch range of the bows is a little bit mismatched, I find. So I didn't actually cast a lot of the time when I had my Ruby Ring on here. Not to say I won't do it again if I need the character points, but I think this just wants to cast spells. These two want to be sort of spread in the back lines, but I don't hate this at all. I think you've gone pretty well with the list. Obviously, this is the sort of standard that I've ended up on. I do like a Banner of Resilience in here, which means you do have to put a BSB in the squad, but you've gone for a BSB on Griffin, which I also like. So I think either or. Cheers for fixing you. Oh, I couldn't fix you. You're beyond hope, mate. Sam says, you're coming from 40k, really love the aesthetic of Wood Elves. Can you give me an idea of an interesting 2k build that I could start trying events with? Hi Sam, good to have you. Also a 40k refugee myself, I'd say. What I will say is we've got some rumours for something that the FAQ is going to be coming, I think probably within like 1 to 2 months from now. So we'll see about that. But there are some rumoured changes to Poison, which is kind of what Wood Elves really hinge on. So I would say hold off for now on building and buying Wood Elves. If you want to get started on the hobbying side of things, because obviously when you're really keen to get started with a faction, you kind of just want to get dug in. If you want to get started, a box of the archers, even if they nerf poison or change poison, or poison is gone from the game or whatever, I think there's probably still going to be a good chunk of archers in Wood Elves in all of the lists to some degree. So just a box of the Glade Guard / Deepwood Scouts. The Glade Riders as well are probably a safe bet to start off with. They're just such a versatile unit. They've got really good rules in there. So those are things that I'd start off with hobbying-wise if you wanted to get started, but hold off on a full commit for about a month or so, I'd say. You know the seagulls that went viral nicking from shops? Both Aberdeen. That's really funny. Obviously, Callum's from Aberdeen is the context there. There was a YouTube channel I used to watch that had a seagull watch. They had a new video out every now and then that talk about the awful things that seagulls were doing. The war on seagulls or whatever. Great times. A couple of Welsh lads as well. Very fun to listen to. It's really good advice. Can we have the same for Chaos Warriors? Maybe a full vid on it. So, when the FAQ comes out, I'm planning on doing a video. Don't hold me to this, but I'm planning on doing a video for every faction, as in, here's what changed, here's like my first thoughts on what is going to be sort of suitable for a list. It won't be like, this is the Cutthroat Tournament list that we'll be seeing in 2 months' time, but like, this is the direction that I think things are going to go in. As in the staple stuff for each faction. Yeah, that's the plan. Now, it's a lot of work. There are like, what, 20 factions, 19 factions? So we'll see how that goes, but we'll give it a go. Alright, well, I've seen your name here as well, Callum, so we're going to go with your list as well. So you had a Grand Army Beastmen list to fix. Let's have a look here. I will say, I didn't manage to get to all of the lists. I have capped my list submissions at 15, just because of the amount of work it takes to put the lists in, and then also the time. I want to be streaming for about 2 hours. Oh, hey man, it is too late to send in a list, unfortunately. But I know you've been trying to get into the game. You can just shoot me a message if you want, and I'll have a look at that, or we can have a vague talk about directions for lists. But things are going to change massively, so I know you're just getting into the game. I wouldn't full commit on buying anything yet, because I think the game's going to change pretty significantly. So Callum has the only thing sacred is Crowmore. I want to get a control focus list with him working, but I'm struggling because I like all my painted models. I can trust you to be more brutal. And then you've got all the usual stuff as well. I have actually got 16 lists here down the side that you can't see. And the reason for that is whoever was last, I think it was it Gandifloss was going to miss the cut, but they had submitted their list as the the downloadable file that you can import here, the owb.json file. So because they'd put that, I was like, oh, it's almost no work for me to put that in. So if you want more of a chance and you're late in the day submitting, make sure you submit the OWB file. Anyway, so you want a control focus list. Remind me what the Chalice of Dark Rain does. Is that the one that turns off shooting? Hey, hell yeah. Thank you for submitting the OWB file. Cool. So just to go through this, this is the classic. Yes, perfect. So this is the classic Great Berry Shaman on Chariot. That's good. This is Kralmore, just good in general, although the base sizes are going to make him kind of weird to use. I guess he gets bunkered in one of the units of Goreherd. Bray Shamans, you've got 2 level 2s, both Demonology, which is fine, I guess. You did go Demonology, didn't you? Let me just double check. Yeah, Demonology. Is there a reason to go Demonology? Because if you want a magic missile, you can just go into Valetide. I'm not sure what you're fishing for in Demonology, to be honest. It doesn't want to load up. Halves range of shooting, turns off all machines. Nice. Yeah. Basically turns off all shooting for a turn effectively. So I like the loadouts here. Demon Heart is obviously you cast as if you're you dispel as if you're 1 level higher than the opposing wizard that is cast. I like this loadout here. I'm not sure on Demonology. The Gathering Darkness plus Devolve. Okay, sure. That makes sense. Now I know there's a plan for it. Gathering Darkness. Sure. It's a 12-inch hex. I'm a little concerned about it going off, but it's interesting. Cromwell was meant to have Primal. Yes, yeah, he did in your list. I just didn't click it there. Thank you for pointing that out, though. Tell you what you did miss, though, and I left this to be smug. You didn't give your Goreherds any additional hand weapons. So I'm just going to do that now. There you go. List fixed. Next. So you've gone triple Razor Gore, double Tusk Gore, Ungore, Gore. I don't know that I care about 2 units of 10. I'm not 100% sure what the role for those is. Are you just using them as like cheap redirectors? Ooh, if you're interested in Beastmen, Martin, there's plenty of Beastmen content floating around at the moment. There is 15 for Gathering. I'm not saying you shouldn't go for it, Callum, but like it's a shorter range spell than you want it to be. Drogas here are good. This Bestigor unit I hope gets fixed in the FAQ alongside the Falconhorn. Herdstone very good as well. Character in each unit is the idea. Okay. Interesting. 1 in each unit. That does make sense, but I don't know if it's necessary. How do you feel about... And you wouldn't be able to hex the turn you came in, but it would get you close. What if you gave these ambushes? And I think you can have 2 characters that have ambush without double checking my book. I believe it's 2 characters. What if you gave them ambush and you went 2 units of Ungors with ambush and you got rid of that unit of Goreherd? And that way you can lower your drops, because you've got these 2 that can go into ambush. You've got these two that can come in the back line, so you can always get the devolve where it needs to be and out of dispel range, which is important. You can get the dispel into range. I think that works well. Primal magic I like on Krelmor. 10 Gore Herd. Is that enough to keep it safe? I guess. I don't know. Like, I'd be tempted to go with more models. I'd be tempted to go... if you start going... maybe you just go 10. If you start cutting chariots to put more models in, at that point I then want supportive characters in the units as well. And that's not really what this list is about. So I'd say... yeah, this is fine, and I do like the unit champion there. I'd like unit champions in these just in case you get caught. Buy you a little bit of time as well. Do they have to be 10s? Is that the minimum? Yeah, it is the minimum. Because here would have to drop 3 models, which I really don't want to do. And yet, it's difficult to cut points elsewhere. I like having the power scroll. This is good. I feel like we just need to make an efficiency choice. And I think, as much as I hate cutting a chariot, I think that's the way to go. And I think we go... it's probably easier to keep Krelmor safe if we have a couple of units of Gore Herds, the way that you had before, but then also have a couple of units of skirmishing Ungors. Too many ideas, toys. Yeah, I think this is fine. So this way, if you are against like a shooting heavy list and you don't think ambush is going to be worthwhile because they're fast, you can just have everything on the board. You can have the characters out of there, and you've got 4 units that give you cover, and you've still got the pressure of the Razor Gore, so they probably want a fireball here. I think this is fine. I like the 2 units of Dragon Ogres. I like the Herdstone. I wouldn't say no to a unit that was specifically for holding the Herdstone, or you've got the best to go. Yeah, I think this is a pretty decent version of it, although we are now at a slightly awkward point level, because there's 7 points per, of course they are. Is there a way to use those 5 points efficiently? So here we've got a... I mean, to be honest, if I've got 5 points... oh no, it's 50 points, isn't it? Bummer. How do we spend this last 5 points? The question may be... if we go 7, we go 11. It's not even 7, guys. 6. 12 and 6. At which point do we just go units of 6? And we give this unit ambush as well. I don't know that this is better. This feels worse because you just lose a couple of models. Okay, so we'll just go back up to 9 and 9. And then, I guess, give one of the units a musician. I never hate an earthing rod. Extra Ungor, are they 6? They are 6. But 6 is perfect. I just... yeah, I guess an extra Ungor is more useful than a musician. I'd love to put an earthing rod in, but you've got a Hag Tree Fetish there. You've got Demon Heart there. Both those are arcane. And then this model has the Chalice of Dark Rain, which is 50 points, so it doesn't have any more items, item points. But yeah, cool. I think that is fine. I'm interested to see how that plays out, because I like the theming. Let's have a look here. Yeah, no, that's interesting. It's control, but in a way where you still have 2 units of 3 Dragon Ogres, and you've got the 3 Razor Gore, and you've got the Valtide Caster. Control. Still a kill list, which I'm a big fan of. Cool. Alright, well, tell you what, we've got Gandifloss here, so let's have a look at your list, because I know you were active in the chat just a few minutes ago. Let's have a quick look at what you posted, because I think yours was also a first sort of foray, wasn't it? Nothing feels worse than not being able to cast a 10 in your... not being able to cast any 10 cast army. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, it might have been Phenomenal Badger who was the one who snuck his way in when... Yeah, it was Phenomenal Badger. But Gandhi Foss is here as well. From yesterday, this is what I came up in my first foray into the old world. Cool, 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 cool. Love that. Hey, Lex Moon, hope you're doing well. So, yeah, I remember when I was putting this in, I was like, yeah, this is a... Like, you've taken information that exists well, and you've applied it pretty reasonably. So Warhounds are great. 1 to 3 unit of Warhounds is pretty standard. Chaos Lord, Nurgle, Mark and Nurgle Dragon, Brazen Collar, Ogre Blade. Also, Favour of the Gods, really important. You do not want to get stupidity on this model. Enchanting Aura is really nice as well. It means that Bretonnian players can't just charge you willy-nilly because you'll kill them first, or you have the potential to kill them first. So that's really nice there. Sorcerer Lord, Marcus Inch level 4, Chaos Steed, Battle Magic, Spell Familiar, Infernal Puppet. All of that's good. You can put a Favour of the Gods here, but I generally don't bother. Then we've got the 3 Dragon Ogres. This is good. And this is where things get a little bit dicey, I would say. So, Giant Spawn, really good currently. Obviously, if you're getting started, again, my advice is hold off until we see what the FAQ is, because things might change massively. But Giant Spawn are really good, and they're very much like a, in my mind, if you have one, have 2. They're a force multiplier for each other. It's very difficult to deal with them. They're a large pool of wounds with double saves, and it's just a pain to get rid of, so having 2 is even more of a pain to get rid of. Chosen Knights, not a good bunker for your wizard. I'd say just get rid of them. You can use them as a unit of 6, just sort of Mark of Undivided, have them running around as a heavy hitter. But if you're just getting started, let's keep it simple, and let's go with things that are less sort of complex to use. And I don't mean that negatively, but just the Giant Spawn are very sort of linear in the way that they play. I think the Chosen Knights want to be used a little bit more subtly. Speaking of, you definitely want a bunker for the Sorcerer Lord, at which point, like 7 or so Marauder Horsemen's really good. I go Marauder Horseman, Musician, Cav Spears because they're free, Shields because you want to keep the Wizard safe, and then Marcus Inch. And by doing this, that gets you, you know, the +1 to cast bunker for the Sorcerer Lord. No, Knights go with the Battalion box. That's how they got started. Yeah, that's true. That's true. You can go Knights. There's nothing wrong with going Knights. Although I will say a lot of the stuff in here isn't. The only thing that makes me go, maybe that is the case, is there's Chaos Warriors. So I'm assuming this isn't a full Death Star of, you know, a Chaos Starter box. Chaos Warriors, a big unit of them. Right now, Chaos Warriors are overcosted for what they do, but Infantry might be getting a buff in the FAQ, so this is interesting. I am very excited to see how Chaos Warriors do. You don't want to give Burning Blade to the champion, so they have magical attacks already. Normally, you'd put a cheap magic weapon on the champion if you're worried about ethereal and you just want a way of dealing with it. They have magical attacks already on their ensorcelled weapons, so you don't need to worry about that. And it actually makes you worse because you lose the AP1 because your Burning Blade isn't a hand weapon, and you're flaming, which is mostly a downside in this edition. Heavy armor shields, Mark of Nurgle. Nurgle's fine. I would just go for that many points, Mark of Undivided. Why would I say Undivided? Well, this lets you reroll failed Fear, Panic, or Terror tests. It was about 400 points before I tweaked it. You don't want 400 points to panic off the board. It happens. It's happened to me. So I would say just keep it chill. Mark of Undivided. Nurgle's fine, but it's not good enough to, you know, sweat over. And then as well, if you're going for like a big ranked up unit, Warbanner's really nice. It just gives you that static combat res. And I would go Brazen Collar here as well. You've got a big Death Star. You want it to be protected. Let's give it Magic Resist 2. It's super cheap to do, so let's just give them the Magic Resist there. The Burning Blade was just to make it 2k. Hell yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So we'll cut down some models here. So 17. 17's still a pretty decently sized unit because they are, you know, T4 with a 4-up armor save. So you probably don't actually need to go too big. What you'll find is if you put too many points into them, no one will go near them, but they're not points denial until you put like loads of points in them. So right now it's 300 points of core, which is kind of a pain to tangle with. They've got magic resist, they've got some decent combat res, they've got a decent armor save, they're not too bad there. The Marauder Horsemen, we've tweaked them here, so you've got a bunker for the Sorcerer Lord. The Chaos Lord, we've tweaked to give Faves to the Gods. But other than that, this looks solid. You could, like, the rare bit, you could definitely tweak. You could cut that and you could put in a Warpfire Dragon. That's a very good choice. Or you could cut both of them and go more Dragon Ogres. Or you could go for, like, a unit of 6 Chosen Knights. There's a lot of stuff that you could do. Oh, now we're at 5 points under. What would I do to close these 5 points? We'd give the Sorcerer Lord... Give the Sorcerer Lord a single Favour of the Gods. So if they ever roll on the Gaze of the Gods table, you don't accidentally make yourself stupid very easily. And yeah, that one's a nice, easy one to tweak, because you got the bones of the list pretty well. Depending on what the FAQ is, I am on the fence about whether the actual individual Warriors of Chaos are super worthwhile as it stands, but Infantry are hopefully getting better, so this is a good place to start if they do. Charm Shield for the extra 5 points. Normally Charm Shield, yes, but I really like Favour of the Gods on characters in this list. Alright. Broma Sapien, I know you're here as well, so let's have a look at your list. And this was Royal Clans, so Dwarves, with no Iron Drakes. Let's have a look here. I think there was a little bit more text to it there. Let me just double check what you'd said. What are we looking for? No Iron Drakes, Royal Clans. Nope, that was the entirety of it. So this is interesting. So you've gone for a big Death Star of Longbeards, and then you've gone 2 units of Rangers, a Dwarf Cart, the Anvil of Doom, and then the characters that go there. So this is the Richer Yeet. And I know Richie's moved away from the Richer Yeet, but if that's the playstyle you want to play, then more power to you. I think it's still fine. I think it's just... if you want to win a lot of games, like the Gyrocopter list is pretty solid. What I do absolutely hate are bolt throwers without any support. I don't know that I'd be running bolt throwers. They are only ballistic skill 3, aren't they? Yeah, that is criminal. A ballistic skill 3 weapon is just not worth doing. I'd be more inclined to go a pair of grudge throwers, because then your ballistic skill doesn't matter and they still have the decent damage. Or you could just drop them entirely.
I've made notes and updated on the fly. Thank you very much.
That's very kind of you. Thank you very much. Hopefully that did help. When you just stick into the Metal 6th Edition models, those can go for sure. Cool. So if we get rid of the bolt throwers, let's get rid of those. I don't hate the Rangers. I like those as sort of like a pain in the backside. You can put them on opposite flanks, for example. I would be tempted to go throwing axes as well, but I'm kind of on the fence about whether that's worth the pointer model. You know, que sera, sera. Here, I'd like to see Stralis' Rune. Remind me what that one is. Vanguard. Oh, yeah. So you get the 3-inch Vanguard. I'd almost be tempted to just go Rune of Battle. I know it's not as effective for the Yeet. So they'll be going 12 inches on the march, and then they'll be going 8 inches. So they'll be going 20 inches, which is not as effective. I guess maybe you do need the Stralis' Rune. No reason for shields with the Master Rune of Bromel. That's true. That's very true. We can cut that one there. Other than it looks cool. Yeah, this character's great. Rune of the Furnace. I love that little bit of tech. Just nice to have on there to give you a ward save against Pillar of Fire if you ever come out the unit or whatever. This thing is good. I'm always really worried about having a Runesmith BSB because I do only have 2 wounds. So this is going to get sniped as soon as possible if you are able to. Yeah, I don't know that you need to go Great Weapon. I also don't know that you need to go offensive output, so that's fine. Anvil of Doom, I wouldn't say no to something on this to make it not fall over immediately. Which one? Is it Preservation I'm thinking of? Yeah, make it immune to multiple wounds, so it can't just be sniped by cannons. This is really nice. Otherwise, you can lose this to 2 cannons, which is very sad. Rune of the Furnace is always good against other dwarves too. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. So, you've got a couple of options. You could kind of just like bulk out the Rangers, or you could go for more range threat. I think this list would benefit from having more stuff off to the sides that's hard for your opponent to catch. And I think a couple of units of grudge throwers would be good here. So as pointed out, you go one with the Rune of Reloading, and then you go one with the Rune of Forging. So this gives you a single reroll on the misfire because you're not going for an engineer. The other one gives you, if you misfire and you rolled a 3 or a 4, you still get to shoot. This puts us 67 points over. So at that point, I think we just drop some Longbeards. I don't think we need to go 37. I don't think there's a... Losing 5 Longbeards there doesn't make the list significantly worse, I don't think. If they can crack 37, they can... Or if they can crack 32, they can crack 37. Unless you're specifically doing it so you can go 41. No, I don't think that makes a difference. 42. The other thing we could shave is points off the ranges if you specifically want the Longbeards to be 37 models. In fact, let's actually do that. Let's just go 8s. And this just makes everything a little bit more reliable, I think. Do you wonder how dwarves will be post-FAQ? Surely a big shift for them if it's infantry stonks up. Yeah, absolutely. This unit here, I think, is absolutely disgusting if the rumoured posts are true. So your T4 base, you're only strength 3, but in Royal Clan you get +1 strength on the charge or on the follow-up, so just stack some combat res with a big unit of these. They've got hand weapon shields, heavy armor, so you're already hitting a 3-up save if the parry save rumor is true. And then you've got Grommel armor for the reroll 1s on your armor saves, and Grommel weapons for the AP1. Like, this is a disgusting unit with Resolute shield wall as well. With shield wall, sorry, not Resolute. It's really interesting. Be interesting to see if these sorts of lists survived a match play update with the secondaries. Yeah, I'm not thinking about that from a list building perspective currently, just because we don't have the information on it. So it's hard, like, it's hard to tweak. I am thinking about the FAQ in terms of I'm saying don't buy models now, but other than that, it's kind of by the by. If the shield roamer is true, I'm tempted to change to Royal Clan Warriors. Yeah, you could absolutely do that. So let's just see what, just for the sake of it, let's see what 600 points of Royal Clan Warriors looks like. So we could go... what did you go? Strollaz and Hesitation, I think you went, right? Yeah, cool. Drill, Stubborn, Veteran. Of course, we want all of those. It's a shame we can't have the Great Axes and the Shields, but in case there are. And then if we go 40 of these, alright, so 39. So you only get 3 more models. I don't know if that's super worthwhile. Who needs a 3-up save when you can get to the sexy axes? Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I like the save. I really do like the save. If we're in a world where we've got more static combat res, being hard to do wounds to is very valuable. So you've got Shield Wall, Venerable Veteran, Grommel weapons. No Grommel armor for Longbeards, but you do come with Strength 4 natively. So, yeah, there's... looking at this, actually, I think the Longbeards are still better. But they're not bad, those Royal Clan Warriors. Not bad at all. So yeah, this is probably how I'd go. I do like, I know you've said no Iron Drakes. I think this list is better with Iron Drakes, but, you know, it is, dang, not a huge change. Yeah, I mean, I think the Richie Yeet has been pretty well sussed out, right? So you go Anvil, Killy King that can kill a dragon, BSB that's a runesmith with triple rune spell breaking, big unit of Longbeards, Dwarf Cart to enable the extra movement, and then just like fill the points with other things to make the list legal and also be hard to pick up. And I think this is how I would go with that. So you've got magical attacks on here, and you've got some support without needing engineers. The other thing you could put in is you could put in the engineer. Oh, you can't do engineers, can you? So it's not an engineer anyway. You could do the Thane with, you know, the... Where's he gone? Crossbow. I think it's handgun that people normally go for. And you go Bursting Flame, Accuracy, Rapid Fire, and then you also just go Rune of the Furnace. There we go. Like this guy on his own is just a pain in the backside to deal with, and that is cheaper than 2 Grudge Throwers. So that is one thing that you could put in if you wanted to instead of the Grudge Throwers. But yeah, it's kind of by the by, just in terms of how you fill your points on the side there, I think. It's mostly the Yeet that's going to win or lose you the game. If the brick dies, it doesn't matter what the rest of it does, if we're being frank. So you could even just put more points into characters in terms of having, like, more points in the Death Star. Illegal Dwarf can't have 2 Solo Furnace. Oh, on the armor. Sure. Yeah, that's true. You'd have to put something else on the armor there. I don't think it would be a solar furnace, would it? No, because we've got... Furnace is... Oh, furnace is talisman. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you can also go Rune of Passage, which is not a bad rune to have, giving the unit move through cover. It's quite nice. So, you can absolutely do that. Played the Richie for the first time 2 weeks ago. I think his success was down to people thinking they could fight the Longbeards. I had enough units to kill everything else. Yeah. That is absolutely the downside to it, and I think one of the reasons that he's moved away from it. Alright, well, Goldfire, now that I've spotted you, we can go straight on to your Chaos Dwarves. Let's have a look at those. Was there anything on there? This has taken the rumours into account, at least the nerf to poison. I want a level 4 on Mount Blackhawk on either Chariot or Wyvern and 2 Iron Demons. Basically just need core sorted. Went with 2 units for fewer drops in Homebrew. I would only use a single unit in core, but here I feel I need at least 2, maybe more is better. Okay. I think Black Orcs are going to be disgustingly good. Like, if infantry buffs are true. Well, actually, they don't benefit from the parry, do they? Interesting. Goldfire, proper Chaos Dwarf name. Yeah, that's true. That is true. So in terms of what you've got, these are like the standard loadouts that we expect to see, right? These are both very good. Nothing to critique there. Double Iron Demon with Hellbound. So there really isn't much to tweak. This is an easy one, I would say. So I like the War Banner and the Lodestone. It's a shame that you can't get 35 points. I'd almost be tempted to see if I could squeeze in another character, which is really hard to do. But what if we went BSB, War Banner? I mean, you kind of want the Lamasu's Beard at that point. So let's just assume you're not going War Banner. Is it possible to fit in Lamasu's Beard, Shield, and then I'd want to go the Spell Eater Axe as well, so 16 points too many. We'd have to sacrifice something pretty major to do that. They can benefit from the parry, no, because of the plate. Yeah. The rumour is that they don't get the parry caps at the 3-up, which, if true, is probably necessary, honestly. So MR1 is fine. There's no way to get anything more exciting on there, is there? No, the glowy green amulet doesn't work. Can't take that here. No, that's fine. No, I like this, and then the Infernal Guard are literally just you have to take them, and they can't take the Lamasu's Beard, can they? No. I'm almost tempted, for the sake of having to use this unit, maybe going like Fireglaves or something like that. It's not good, but at least it gives them something to do that isn't just being stood there. But it's then only also like 18-inch range, so we probably don't even do that. We probably do just go back to the hand weapons. The fact that great weapons cost 2 points per model feels pretty criminal when you compare them to Chaos Warriors, Dwarf Warriors, sorry. The other thing I'd probably do is I'd probably give them drilled, because this unit's never moving around anywhere if they're not. So if you want to use them as like pseudo, very, very expensive Warhounds, you can give them drilled. You can march them 9 at that point and do something with them. Blorks generally get better even if they don't get parry. If they get... It depends what comes in the room is, I guess. Issue is you only have 55 points from core to take from. Yeah, if you're going for the Hellbound here, it's impossible to fit anything in. You'd have to tweak something here, and I don't really want to tweak these two loadouts. They're both very good. But yeah, like, so I think this unit... This, I don't know if I'd bother with Magic Resist 1, but I don't know that I wouldn't. Like, if we're seeing wizards capped at +1 to cast above their wizard level, Magic Resist becomes a little bit more valuable. War Banner here is fine in terms of getting more combat res. They'll get, what, Close Order Banner, War Banner, rank. I think, yeah, they said outnumber there as well, so potentially 6. And Dragons are capped at 6 in that FAQ post. Yeah. I got a box of unmade Knights of the Realm on foot ready to pounce on the meta. Hell yeah. If the rumours are true, I'm not sure that's a unit that gets better. But, well, not appreciably better. But I hope they do. Yeah, and I think this loadout here, 12 and 11, is fine. You can even go 12 and 12 and give one of them 2 if you want to, just on the basis if you've got 2 spare points, and I don't think there's anywhere to put it. That's probably how I'd tweak it. It just makes the unit of, like, the mandatory unit of Infernal Guard ever so slightly useful. Or they can get somewhere so they can support, you know, marching them 9 inches gives them on turn 3 they could potentially be in position to charge someone. Knights on foot will be great with a 3 up, 5 up, but they're still just attacking with strength 3 hand weapons then, right? Strength 3 hand weapons with no AP, which is... They will be a beefy bunker to chip through, but the things that will be attacking them, assuming infantry get better, will probably be under strength 5, so it'll be a 3 up, 6 up. With War Banner post Leak World, they'd sit at 6. Yes, yeah, indeed. No, I like the list, Goldfire. I think you've nailed... Like, I don't want to say this in a way that it sounds demeaning. Like, there's not a lot of wiggle room, is there? Once you've got the 2 Iron Demons, and then you've got the 2 really good character loadouts in, I guess. But I think you've made it an efficient version of the list. So let's just copy and paste that. Oh, I've done that already. Down there to kill the Renanful. Yeah, that's true. A level 1 Damsel to give them MR2. The fact that Damsel have Magic Resist 2 is disgusting. Are you covering... no, sorry. I haven't got your Tomb King list for Fix My List specifically. I put some thoughts on it in the channel. Let's have a look. Did you get back to me on that one? Yeah, I put some thoughts on it in the channel, bud. If you've got any questions, we can just continue to discuss it there. So do feel free to get some shut-eye. Must be Saturday morning for you, right? Down under? Cool. Some reason the Outcast Wizard figured out MR1 and won't tell any wizard thoughts about it. Yeah, that's true. You're welcome, James. You're welcome. Okay, cool. Who else have we got here? We're on a roll. We are on a roll. Are there any names in chat who... I think most of the people who are here... Oh, I did see Tiedemann earlier as well. Tiedemann, if you're still here, am I right in thinking that they're not going to allow double Herdstone? I assume they're not going to allow double Herdstone. That feels like it's ripe for abuse. So this is the ringer list, or one of the ringer lists for Square-based Online Tournament 360. So yeah, I'm just gonna assume that double Herdstone is not allowed. If it is, we'll probably put it back in because that is disgustingly broken. But right now, I think it's a 0 to 1. In terms of core, Cast Wizards would be level 4, but the Magic Resist what? Yes, yeah. They gave up level 4 casting for 1 level of Magic Resist. Not a great trade. So core from this line down, triple Razor Gore, double Tuskor, great stuff. Hey, Papa Wheelie, no, don't apologise. This is very much a drop in, drop out. Glad to have you all when you're here. I haven't done any shilling while I'm here. If you're here, like the video, always helps me get picked up by the algorithm, although we're doing pretty reasonably well this evening. If you leave comments, it helps as well. If you want to subscribe, you can. The coaching is going really well. I had my first word of mouth referral. He said, your student said that you were very good at coaching. I was like, oh, I can't believe you people are paying me. I'd do it for the ego boost alone. But yeah, obviously there's a patron for coaching as well. I think that's all of the shilling I need to do. So, Shane and I have, I wouldn't say fallen out in any way. We have a very fundamental disagreement about allies and whether they should be allowed at all. But he did message me to say that the Herdstone does break things if you can have 2 of them. So I think he probably will say no. If he says yes, then we'll drop, like, I don't know, Bray Shaman or something. We'll cut some points for it. Let's assume you can only have 1, because if you can have 2, Beastmen get a little bit silly, I think. You just go full points denial and you pick up 400 points at the end of the game. This is more being cheeky. I do appreciate that. But we can make some tweaks. So, here, Beastlord, Ogre Blade, Razor Gore Chariot. I like that. Let's take off the Heavy Chaos armor here and give you... is there a reason for that? No, because you've got the shield already, right? Yes, that's fine. I was thinking about efficiency, but it's more points to do it the other way around, so let's just leave it as it is. the tweak I was going to make is actually a bad tweak. I had it in my head, and then I've just tweaked as to why that's not a good idea. It's obviously not meant to be allowed. Allies are not meant to be allowed. Ooh, burn. Wah, 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 wah. No, I like this lord. The slug skin for -1 to be hit, ogre blade to fuck shit up, heavier chaos armor with shield, so a 4 armor save and a 5 ward is good stuff there. Catty comment. Yeah, no, it was. As much as I don't like allies, and I'm not going to be playing in S-bot, I still hope that it is successful and it does really well for the boys. Obviously, I don't want anyone to fail. Here, so you've gone Razor Gore Chariot. We can cut it to a Tuskor Chariot because it doesn't want to be in combat. I'm not opposed to making it a Razor Gore Chariot, but this is like normally Tuskor just for saving points. And then you've got Talisman of Protection, Hag Tree Fetish, and we're going to use those points that we've just shaved, and we're going to go Ruby Ring of Ruin. So this character's going to have 2, maybe 3 magic missiles because we're going to go Elementalism as well. And then you've gone really spam on the Brave Shamans. How does that work? Is it capped to 3 of the same unit? Because I haven't looked. Hey Vesper, how you doing? I haven't looked. I'm assuming that, given that you've done it, that you're allowed to go 5 Brave Shamans between the 2 here and the 3 here. But that feels wrong. I don't know if it is wrong, but it feels wrong. What I'd probably do is I'd cut down on the number a little bit and just go, oops. Let's cut this one. And we'll go all level 2s, and we'll give them all power scrolls. And we'll find some points for them elsewhere if needs be. Because this way you can always pick your Viletide, and you can always cast the Viletide at least once with the power scroll level 2. There's a French tournament allowing allies to take cheap non-common items. Well, that's dumb. That is dumb. I don't approve of that. Power scrolls. We're just putting a power scroll on the 4 level 2s that we've got now. Let's go like so, and then we've got Primal Warherd, yada yada. How many points we got available? So, I mean, if we want to play to the theme of the list that you've gone for, let's just go drop this to minimum. So we're going to go just 7 gore. And then we're going to just duplicate this. I think we just go Elementalism with all of these casters as well. You can tweak the lore if you prefer. I think Elementalism makes the most sense because you want to try and roll into one of the good spells in there. This is so dumb. This is full Gatling. The 2 Falcon Horns cancel each other out. They should do, shouldn't they? The flyers need to start digging. Oh, yeah. That would be good. If cancel, you mean anyone is not flying. Everyone is not flying. Yeah. That works. That works. Cool. So this takes us to 1990. So I think we just go back up to 8 models here. And I think for a ringer list, this is very linear. Kind of funny. Hopefully not too awful to play against. You may end up finding that you just table people. I don't know if all of the Viletides will do that well for you, but if they do, you may want to tweak if you're finding that you're just absolutely gunning people down, which would be unpleasant for them. Every time you activate a Falcon Horn, you should have 2 years deducted from your real life. That seems harsh. That seems harsh. I feel like gamers are already not the... Not everyone, but not across the board, not the most health focused, so I don't want to, have people keeling over. Oh god, it's so warm. I just feel like I can't keep any liquid in my body. But yeah, so now it's super easy. If you wanted to put another Herdstone in, you just cut one of the Prey Shamans, and you go for the second Herdstone, assuming that that's legal. So, super fair. It's only fair the champions die young. Some games, some sports push you to a level where you keel over at a young age or have issues, but yeah. Oh, it's a joke that it's a ringer list. I've just been sitting on a double Headstone and want more people to ask games which just fit the rules. Okay, yeah, cool. Well, in that case, I'm not going to resubmit it. Just drop the Brave Shaman here, add another Herdstone, and then shave the points from here or something like that. It should be easy to cut in. Maybe you drop the one that's also got the Oh, I didn't make these level 2s. Whatever. You get the idea. Donut-stoned herdstone. Donut-shaped herdstone with falcon horn in the middle. You deserve bad things to happen to you, I'm afraid. That is an awful, awful thing to be doing. You get yourself cursed saying things like that. I just did. They seem comically underpriced. Yeah, they're very good. They're very good. Alright. Let's have a look. We'll just go down the list. Please keep sending me bad vibes. Only the worst vibes. Alright, so Brewston. Let's have a look here. Brewston submitted a list which was Grand Army Warriors of Chaos. Let's have a look at you. Where were you at? It was past here. This is for a 3-round RTT with Herald's Darkness next weekend. Hell yeah. Comp is 40% characters, 800 points, 0 to 1 flying characters, 0 to 1 level 4 wizards. Rule of 3 for characters and special. No duplicate rare. No special characters. No allies. Okay. So you've gone... I mean, I respect the Chaos Chariot. Carrying Crow... If you're going Enchanting Aura here to make them strike last, you don't need to go for the flail. I just go for the Great Weapon. It's a better weapon, hands down. So you're better off just picking that out there. Sorcerer Lord here. We've got level 4, Marcus Zinch, Chaos Steed, Battle Magic, Puppet. You definitely want to go for the Spell Familiar as well. We'll find the points for it somewhere. Diabolic Splendor. That's fine. This is the -1 to be shot. I don't know that it's necessary, but it's not awful. I guess you're going to bunker it with... Oh, you bunker it with the Marauder Horseman. I'd just take that off. I don't... Unless you're necessarily expecting to see a lot of ballistic skill shooting, but you can hide the unit if you need to, so I think you don't need to go for that. Double Chosen Chariot. Let's drop the Shartak here. You don't want Shartaks, because then single models like a dragon can charge you. Just challenge out the Shartak, kill the Shartak, take no punishment. I worry a little bit when I charge a unit of Dragon Ogres. They won't do a lot of wounds, but if I've taken some damage, or if there is scope for me to take damage from ranged things, this unit can punch me pretty hard. Yeah, let's have a look here. Chaos Knights, Mark and Nurgle, Banner of the Baying Hound. That's the Vanguard move, right? Yeah, I don't think they need to be Nurgle, other than thematically. I think the defensive bonus you get here is nice, but it's just better to never run away, because you're always rerolling Fear, Panic, Terror. Like, genuinely, I think Mark of Undivided is so underrated, and it's so cheap as well. These horsemen, I don't hate them, but I don't know that they're doing anything for you. Like, this unit here could go to, say, 8. This unit here is fine, but it's not really doing anything. Like, if you wanted, you could go 2 units of 5 with Mark of Khorne. Something like this. And then these units actually, like, they hit really hard. They're uncontrollable, obviously, so you probably don't put them in skirmish. But they would punch real hard, and whereas 10 of them I just don't see as having a purpose. Here we can drop the poison attacks unless we need to fill points. So Vanguard, Vanguard, Vanguard. Also take some of the mental strain away. You just have 3 units that do the same thing. And then with 40 points under... I mean, really, I'd like to see another character in here, but we're kind of shy on points, right? What if we went... Yeah, we're already struggling on points. I guess... We're not that struggling on points. We just go Undivided. We go Flail. We don't need a shield. We literally just go, here's a 6-wound model with the 3-up armor save and a 5-up ward. That's like super cheap. We'll give them the single favor of the gods that I do like to give here. And then if we shave some points, like we take this off here, and then we're only 38 points over, which we can cut from here pretty easily. We drop that, and then we've got to drop 3 points somewhere. Oh, this unit definitely wants a musician. Drop down to 7 models. And that lives. I'm not sure what I'd go for another 7 points. There's not like an obvious thing to put in here. I don't want a standard bearer. Like, it just makes this unit too easy to give up points, and it's not really valuable. You could just give this unit poisoned attacks. It's not like super good to have, but it's not awful. So yeah, hopefully that is a helpful tweak there. I think even with the comp pack that you're playing, I think you're going to struggle in terms of dragons. But I also like your list. I think it's fun, and I think it's suitably punchy. You've got 3 counter-charging chariots, and that's just great. Then you've got 2 units of Marauder Horsemen to threaten with a surprising amount of output for how cheap they are. Yeah. Something like that, I think, is good. Cool. Cool. Alright, how are we getting on? Well, let's move on to... It's so warm. It's so hard to concentrate. Let's have a look at Phenomenal Badges list. This was Grand Army Warriors of Chaos. There was a lot of Warriors of Chaos today. A lot of Warriors of Chaos, a lot of Elves as well. Big fan of that. We do like our Elves in this house. So, if we look at the list here, the one that only got in because Phenomenal Badger did submit the JSON file. Thank you kindly. Trying to make a chosen Chaos list work. Okay, you know that Warpfire Dragon and Dragon Ogres are probably better, but you've chosen one of their favourite units. That's fair. Maybe having just 2 units is risky. Thanks. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So we've got a Death Star of Chaos Knights. We've got a Death Star of Chosen. We've got some Warhounds that absolutely should have Vanguard. That's a no-brainer on them. And then you've got 5 Chaos Marauders who... Let's just make those Warhounds as well. Warhounds are so valuable, especially if you're playing slower threats like this. Okay. Banner of the Gods. Is this the minus leadership one? No, ignores negative modifiers to leaderships. I don't think that's necessary. Unless you're really worried about Bretonia. Undead, I guess. But it's so expensive. No. Magic Resist 3 is wild, but for 20 points you can just have the Brazen Collar that you've already put on. Blasted Standard... I don't know that there's anything I super love here. Like, you could give them Icon of Darkness, or just War Banner, honestly. I'd probably just default to War Banner. And then you've got some decent static combat res. Have they got shields as well? Yeah, of course they've got shields. Good stuff there, Mr. Badger. Oh, you've used the War Banner already. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. They should be able to carve their way through some points, right? So, in that case, let's give them the Icon of Darkness. Just keep it cheap. And that at that point, we may end up putting more models in or more support. So the Chaos Lord is Chaos Steed, Mark and Nurgle, Ogre Blade, Double Favour of the Gods. And this is going to be joining the Chaos Knights, I assume. This is solid. I think at that point, I'd be tempted to just go Paymaster's Coin. Because you can just roll the dice. And you can be like, you know what? I'm going to tangle with a dragon. Paymaster's Coin gives you enough punch there that you can just say... You do not get to exist risk-free, even though you are a dragon. Warpfire Dragon is really needed to make it punch super hard, but, you know, if it's taken some wounds, it's good. Love me some Warriors of Chaos. Yeah, me too. I've got, like, I think maybe 60 or 70 actual Warriors of Chaos models. Some of them with halberds. In fact, I've got one on my desk here, partially painted from when I was, like, 13. It's a metallic paint, so you can't see it. But what I did was I bought loads of... the Chaos Knights, and I used the Lancers to give them halberds. So if the rumours about halberds are true, which would be sick, I've got loads of halberd great weapon, or halberd or great weapon Warriors of Chaos ready to go, which is really cool. Big fan of that. Although we may find that hand weapon shield is just better. Okay, so wizards. We've got a foot wizard, no, a horse wizard, infernal puppet, demonology, spell familiar, Mark and Nurgle. This is good. This is good. No notes. This sorcerer, undivided, level 4, Demonology, Favor, Crown of... Okay, so this is super tanky. You've given it a regen save, you've given it a good armor save and a Lore Familiar. You've got the points, so let's just upgrade, right? So we go 5 points more, you get the poison attacks. I think it's just worth doing. Especially because you've got three attacks base, right? So you've got 3 attacks. You've got the Demonology spell to give you a 4th attack. You can roll on the Gaze of the Gods table, and you might get more attacks. I think poison's really valuable on these wizards. I'd be tempted to put them on a Chaos Steed anyway. You haven't got the points here, so we're not going to do it. But I'd be tempted to go for a Steed just for the bonus to save. Although I guess you have got Armor of Meteoric Iron, so... Armor of Meteoric Iron, that might be just overkill, honestly. Did everyone decide the FAQ was legit and just taking loads of infantry? I don't know. I have my doubts. But some, like, I've forgotten his name. The guy on the Warhammer Fantasy Battles Discord, he said that it lined up kind of with some of the stuff he knew. So, but it was like part of the whole, not the entirety of the thing. So, we'll see. But yeah, so I think this is good. So we've got the Lord who can absolutely slap. We've got the Nurgle buffing character for the Chaos Knights here. And then we've got a Foot Wizard who is doing things. I think this wizard goes Nurgle as well, realistically. I think if you're going regen, we just say you're not worried. Like, you don't need the Armor of Meteoric Iron as well. Triple save is already very good. So we're just going to go Mark and Nurgle here. And that gives you access to... ooh. We should probably go Enchanting Aura on one of these characters. Oh, you've got Enchanting Aura here already. Alright, that's fine. Yeah, but this gives you access to the +1 toughness remains in play spell, so that's not awful at all. And then with Demonology, you can get up to T6 on the turn you charge. So you can charge into, like, you can charge dragons and only be wounded on 3s and potentially 5s or 6s depending on what the rider has. Jav, yeah, Jav. Was the idea for that sort to go with the Chosen? That is exactly the idea. And we do have 26 points left, so I think we're going... Oh! +1. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. And obviously, with double Demonology caster, you're probably getting Steed of Shadows. So you're probably going to be able to turn 1, march at 20... Well, I guess if you go into marching column, you can march 36 inches. Which is funny, but not necessary. The first game of Old World in person I played, I was testing out High Elves, actually. It's funny how I've ended up here. And I played into a brick of Chosen on foot with a Steed of Shadows caster. And my opponent parked them just in front of my unit. And I was like, oh, I don't know what to do here. I think I just lose. Went very poorly. For me. Tzeentch Chaos Warriors look the coolest by far. Half my Chaos Warriors are painted blue and half of them are painted green. Although, with the current rules, I'll probably just use them, you know, as normal warriors. Undivided's OP, man. Alright, let's have a look at Sheepman's list. How are we doing on Sheepman's list? So, this was an interesting one as well, because this is not just a standard list. I'm going to have to scroll up and read. Let's have a look here. Sheep, sheep, sheep. Further up the page somewhere. There we go. Heralds of Darkness. There was no text to go with that. That's absolutely fine. So this was another Heralds of Darkness list, which I love. So we've got double Aspiring Champion. We've got regen, right? Crown of Everlasting Conquest, Talisman of the Carrying Crow, Favour of the Gods, both Mark and Nurgle, both with the Flail. I like these here. They're tanky, they're beefy. Honestly, could you upgrade those to Exalted Champions? You could upgrade one to an Exalted Champion. That's a shame. 20 Chaos Knights is wild. We are definitely dropping the Mark and Nurgle, because that is, with the Wizard, going to be almost 1,000 points, and we are not having this unit run off the board. So we're gonna go with the standard Undivided. It's too strong to give up. Having played this list and had the Chaos Knights flee off the board, and I wasn't even running 20, it's pretty backbreaking. Okay, I think we've got points to go drop this character. Let's go Exalted Champion, Flail, don't need shield. You wanted Mark and Nurgle, Chosen Chariot. You want a Favour of the Gods. You want the Talisman of the Carrying Crow. So this is the same character as here, but we've just upgraded them to an Exalted Champion. That's good. This character becomes a BSB with a War Banner. I know you had the War Banner in here. Screw it. It's so good on the BSB. I think it's just worth doing. This is like... I really like Vanguard on this unit because you can Vanguard forwards with the Sorcerer Lord and get into Infernal Puppet range on turn 1. So that's where my mind is right now. And we're still legally able to do so. So we've got... Yeah. This is good. We've tweaked, we've got the double regen, and we've got a slightly killier character. We've got a BSB who's giving you 2 static combat res over where he was before. And he gives you some rerolls if you need them. To get there, we are going to cut a Chosen Chariot, which, you know, I am sorry to say. But it's fine. And that leaves us with a small amount of points. Warhounds are real good. Warhounds are real good. So 5 of those is just fantastic to have. And then that leaves us 6 points, which I think very easy to fill. We just go, oh, no. We want Enchanting Aura. Oh, are we able to fit Enchanting Aura in? We're not. We'd have to actually sacrifice something to get there. I don't want to sacrifice something. We'd have to shave 2 points. I'm not doing that. I'm not making this worse. Warhounds make me so jealous when I look at them versus the Trace War Lines. I know, man. They're just one of those units that are so good they probably shouldn't exist. But yeah, there we go. That's very simply how to tweak. And you may think, you've really whizzed through that. And yes, I have, because I have got the amount of Heralds of Darkness lists I've written. I have done every permutation. I've not done the permutation, to be fair, where I've got 21 knights in one unit. What I'd be tempted to do as well, and I haven't done it here, but you could, in fact, let's just link it, and we go double Gigantic Spawn. We lose the other Chosen Chariot, so you go down to only 2 Chosen Chariots, which is different from what you said. I acknowledge that is very different to what you had. And then here we go another 2 Favour of the Gods. I don't normally do 2 versions, but this is less your theme, but just slightly better because the Gigantic Spawn are real good. And they help you deal with things that you can't countercharge, or you can't set up to charge because they will countercharge you. This will stop them from countercharging. So it just gives you like a real nice array of threats. And this is just a hilarious unit. So nice and easy to do there. Let's have a look at Tistic's list, which is Seaguard. Now, I believe there was some text. Seaguard melee monsters. No, that was it. Only going with the models I have. Thanks for the input. Try and get some hounds. Hell yeah. Yeah, perfect. So, in that case, the first one that I tweaked, if I just very quickly go back, I didn't add any models here. So, just 1 unit of Warhounds and taking out a chariot, that'll be doable. Yeah. This is slightly better, but if you don't want to buy a second Gigantic Spawn, super reasonable. Tistic is here. So, this doesn't look right at all. Is this right? Is this not the one I'm thinking of? Oh, there's 2 Seaguard lists. Okay, hell yeah. Double Seaguard. I'd forgotten about that. Okay. So. I haven't even looked at this because this was a JSON import file. Level 2 Wizard, Ring of Fury, Seed of Rebirth, Battle Magic. So we're going for double Hammer Hand with this unit. I am here for it. I think that's incredible. I love that a huge amount. I would be tempted to go, for the sake of it, just give it an Earthring Rod. I think that's really good. Seaguard Garrison Commander. We've got Griffin, Seed of Rebirth, Opal Amulet, Giant Blade. No one's using a Talisman of Protection. And also, you've only got 3 attacks, right? So the Giant Blade just doesn't do anything. Yeah. Giant Blade is not good on this character. In my opinion, I don't think it's worth doing. So I'd rather just go Talisman of Protection, like so. And then Biting Blade, or Sword of Might. Probably Sword of Might. You're not really leaning on the character to do the damage. So let's drop it actually down to Biting Blade, and we'll go Dragon Helm as well. And this gets you to a 3-up armor save between your shield, the heavy armor, and the Dragon Helm there. Cool. The Dragon Elves strike again. The Hammer Elves strike again. Yes. Seaguard is the best list. Proving wrong. I can't. I wish there was a list for Swordmasters. I mean, there is. You just play it yourself. And then we've got the Shadow Stalker Battle Magic level 2 Lore Familiar. This is a great little piece. You can just drop turn 1, drop a Pillar of Fire. You definitely want Power Scroll because you want that thing to go off. And then you may as well take the bow for free. You don't want to be shooting it. You want to be hiding. But yeah, that's good stuff there. Okay, so we need to shave 32 points. So we've got Ship's Company with Warbows. That's fine. Shadow Warriors. I mean, they are okay. I'd be tempted to just drop them down to like 6s and go 2 of them like so, which does put us over on points. Single Loth and Skycutter, Phoenix, Merworm. I mean, these just, I don't think these are good, but you've got them in because you want them, and that's fine. So I'm not going to tweak them, but I think these down here are the weakest part of your list. I am really not sold on the Frostheart Phoenix. I know some people have played it, but I just don't feel like there's enough output there for a 200-point monster. 4 attacks at strength 6 AP2 is decent. And then you've got 2 stomps, but there's no AP on those stomps. So you kind of just have effectively, it's almost like having 7 attacks, give or take. And the weapon skill's good, and the toughness is nice, and you've got a 4-up save, but you don't have a regen. Yeah, I don't know about them. We do need to shave some points. So if we're going a couple of units of Shadow Warriors, because you can go 2, let's just go... let's go 2 units of 7. And then 2 units of 6 Shadow Warriors. Yes, Merworm. Yeah, well, it is a Merworm. It does exist. So the Banner of Balance, so you don't lose on your stand and shoot. That's fine. I like Veteran as well, actually. Like, I think if you're going for it, giving them Veteran, because you really don't want them to run away, I think is nice. Which does put us over on points. So maybe we just shave a couple of models somewhere. Probably back down from here. Like that. That puts us close. And then we're 32 points over. But the problem is, none of this stuff can tweak points. Yeah. What on earth would we do to shave points here? We need to shave 32 points. And I can shave 7 from the core. I don't really want to take Feigned Flight off them. I think that makes them interesting. Is there a way of taking... like, if we take Ambush off here, and we go down to... this is going to be a real pain, isn't it? You probably want these to be skirmishers. In fact, you definitely want these to be skirmishers. So I'm 2 points under. Now I am 11 points under. I need a 6-point unit champion. Shadow Walkers. So that puts me to here. So now we're only 16 points over. Oh, we may just have to drop that power scroll. That's so sad. I think it's just the power scroll that we have to drop. We just have to take the chance with the dice. You do cast it 56% of the time. Cool. Well, I think this is the best I can do with this. I'd be taking this out, but you've obviously got them in because you like them, so that's super fine. The Sky Cutter, I do just like in general. Tweaked the core a little bit. I think this is fine. You could also go instead the Razor Standard to give them some AP, but you don't have to. You know, this is they kind of just do a job of having combat res and doing some chip damage and filling out your core. These being skirmish is better. These being split into 2 smaller units is better. I'd love to put a power scroll here, but I just can't get points without removing something here. And the wizard having double hammer hand is just very funny. So we'll call that one done. There we go. All right. So let's move on to Jaju's Grand Army of Orcs and Goblins, and this thing is wild. So, is Jaju here? Because I wanna pick their brain about the thought process a little bit. There was some commentary written, so let me just scroll up and find that while I give them a chance to respond if they are here. So, a bit of a meme list going strong with 5 laser boys in a brick. So I'm guessing the laser boys go in the orc mob, which is fine. Let's give them a musician, though. You don't want to lose combat to them having a musician. It's probably not going to happen, but, you know, you may as well. 32 boys is a lot as well. I'm not sure you need to go that big. Yeah, so I think we can follow the line of thought and make it a little bit more efficient. So we go slightly more ranged output here. So to do that, we're going to cut down on unnecessary points. So 5, 2, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're only 11 points over. More boys. No, less boys. Less boys. The boys are unnecessary. The Night Goblin Poison Shooting Brick, obviously, Triple Fanatics. Great stuff there. We've got a level 4 Wizard Ring of Ruin Lore Familiar Elementalism. So that's going to teleport the unit around. Good. We've got the BSB on foot, and then we've got the Big Boss. I'd like to give them great weapons, but you just don't have points. Then you've got triple battle magic casters, and I think that is, like, level 2s. I think that's so... I don't know. I think it's excessive. I think most of those, like, 2 of those are probably not going to roll any damage spells. What's the chance of not getting the spells that you want? It's a 5 in 6 and a 4 in 6, right? So we work it out. Let's just do some very quick maths. So 0.66... it's the chance of not getting either, so it's 0.66 times 0.83. So we're looking at about a 55% chance, napkin maths, that each level 2 wizard doesn't get a spell that does direct damage. That is over half. So concern, but I'm not going to tweak that because I see what you're going for. And then you've got an Idol of Gork and then to think in Orc's Hat. I think you want Idol of Mork, right? Not the Idol of Gork. Gork is plus range. Yeah, let's go Idol of Mork. You may as well go for the Dispel Threat. That's better here. Saves 10 points. And then here, is there a way... Oh, you definitely want a unit champion. 100% want a unit champion. Because this brick's going to get charged by a dragon. You need something to feed it. You want to feed it a unit champion. You don't want to feed it just a wizard. The Squig Hoppers are cool. I like Squig Hoppers. We've added more range threat here, so we just need to shave 8 points. And we can do that here, so... Oh, that's so sad. What if I go 1 orc? Are they 5 points? Hey, there we go. Gets us to exactly 500 points of core. This is an interesting list. I will say, and you said it's a meme list, so I don't mind saying this. I think the premise is fundamentally flawed. I don't think 3 level 2s here is worth doing. However, if you roll well on your spells, if you get 4 to 5 Pillars of Fire, your opponent is going to be so sad. And I also think it's funny. So, yeah, hopefully that has tweaked the efficiency of it a little bit. The boys are truly back in town. You're damn right they are. Guess who just got back today? The boys are back in town. Let's go down. I think we can go with we'll go to Dazed. So Dazed with the Hosts of Taliesin. This is an interesting list, and it's maybe done in line with the rumoured FAQ changes, because the archers do not have Hagbane tips. Is it Hagbane tips? The poison shooting. So many words to remember. So many words to remember. Let's have a look here. So it was a little bit further up. There we go. Dazed. There was no context to this. This list was just posted raw. So let's look at it. One thing I do need to check actually is Ariel's Favor. That's not one that off the top of my head I can remember what it does, which is not a great sign. It does mean that it might be terrible, but maybe I'm wrong. You know, it'd be nice to be wrong. Wood Elf Arcane Journal. Let's have a look here. So if I just scroll down, the Ariel's Favor on the unit champion. Magic Resist 2. Oh, yeah, no, that's just good. Okay, cool. Ariel's Favor, Magic Resist 2, Standard War Banner. So this is like the Death Star Guardians of Taliesin. Guardians are interesting. I'm not sold that they're good, but we're looking at the list without changing the feel of it, right? So this, I think, stays. The 5 Eternal Guard, just here in Purgatory, I think is very funny. I feel like you may as well give them shields. Like, that just feels worth doing. Because you can... Oh, I guess maybe not, because it does tweak the points here. And then here we've got Unit Champion, Banner of Midsummer's Eve, which is the Ignores Cover special rule, which is really nice for shooting, to be fair. Arcane Bodkins for Armor AP2. I don't know. Hagbane tips, even if they do get changed in the FAQ, that may end up being better. But it's hard to say. I'd also be tempted to see Fire and Flee on there, but it is a very expensive Fire and Flee as it stands. The Wizard, level 4 on foot, Lore of the Wilds, Ruby Ring of Ruin, Lore Familiar, Resplendent Luminescence. So this gives magical shots to, I'm assuming, the Glade Guard. I think this is good. You do lose the ability to cast your wood, which means that the Glade Captain, who has got Raylorin's Mantle, which gives you a ward save if you're within 6 inches of forest, is significantly worse. I'm a little concerned about that. I don't know that I love that in any way, shape, or form. And then we've also got causes terror and Eternal Kindred as well, giving the rerolls to the unit that is joined. And is otherwise got a bow and a great weapon, and is a BSB with the Banner of the Eternal Queen, which is +1 to combat res. So this unit is like tied to the 1 wood. So this is, even though I don't like the premise, it is going to play by the woods, and I'm assuming it goes with the Glade Guard, but it could go with the Guardians of Taliesin too. And then we've got the Glade Lord as well, great weapon, Forest Dragon, Talisman of Protection, Mantle of Rebirth. You definitely want a shield here. So remember that if you're using the Mantle of Rebirth, which is the light armor that gives you regen save. Wait, hold on. Isn't that... No, you can put it on dragons. Okay, I was thinking it was non-dragons. Yeah. You have to actually use the armor, the light armor here. You can't use the full plate and also get the regen. So you're going to be getting a 6-up armor save. So against shooting, you may as well have a 5-up armor save. You know, it's free. Or, not free, but it's worth taking. Great weapon. So you've gone triple save here, which I think is probably legit, actually, for Wood Elves. I do like this. Anointed Netlings to be good in a challenge. Aspect of the Cat to be good in a challenge. Both of those are just really good. Solid little piece there. Yeah, so what would I tweak? Because you're 2 points over, that's annoying. I guess it just has to come out of here. And then a single Great Eagle. The Great Eagles are fine little pieces. I am not opposed to seeing them. I'm definitely going to start playing around with them more. They're just a bit pricey when you compare them to something like the Chaos Warhounds. So it's a little frustrating. I guess we just have to cut one model here. At which point, we've got 17 points. Do we want to spend 17 points on something? Let's just remind ourselves, Azrai Spears are pretty terrible. What initiative do they have? They're just a normal initiative, aren't they? They're not anything super sexy. I mean, we're kind of struggling for ways to spend these last points. I'd probably just go give them shields to give them something to do, and then go, no, we'll take the shields off, because then we can go to 32, and just be 4 points under. I think that's fine. I think the list has... I am concerned about the list's potential to play the game. Like, I don't know that this actually wins into any of the meta threats, but I think if we look at the list through the lens of what it's trying to do, I think we've hopefully made a couple of tweaks. In fact, we haven't even had to do much. I think you've mostly got the list to an efficient point through that concept. They'll hit like fine elven pool noodles. Yeah, I am concerned about that, but maybe we live in a world where we'll see infantry better, infantry more gooder, and if that's the case, then yeah, who knows? Who knows? I'm not sure Guardians of Taliesin will be worth playing, but if they are, this is an interesting way to do it. Let's go to Lord Kibbleston's list. So this was pretty high up in the submissions, I believe. Let me just find this one. Lord Kibbleston. It's a great name. It does catch my eye every time I see it. That's above the Badger, above Gandhi. We have got some great names on the Discord. Broma Sapien, Danny Fingal. There we go, this is the one. New to army. Okay. New to army. So, you've got the vibes right, but the specifics definitely need tweaking. So, Dragon Ogres, super great. Gigantic Spawn of Chaos, super great. Gorgon, not worth the paper it's printed on. That's not true. It's just... If you like it as a model, take it. I think it's really difficult to justify putting one in when the Gigantic Spawn exists and other monsters exist. Yes, it's got like Monster Slayer, but a competent player won't let you charge them, and it has Frenzy, so it's impossible to control. I think you'll just find that you won't get much mileage out of it against competent players. So something like a Gigantic Spawn of Chaos is really strong, because good players will struggle to play against it, because you've got random move and you don't have to be in charge arcs and all that. Starting at the top, we've got the Wizard, level 4, Elementalism, Hagtree Fetish, Talisman Protection. Let's just give him a Ruby Ring of Ruin as well. Make him a real magic missile output. Now justify the Cygor. I like the Cygor more, honestly. It's not good in combat. It has hand weapon attacks, although it does have actual behemoth stomps. But it has a stone thrower, which is something that if you need in the army, you need more ranged output. I could see it. I'm not playing it, but I can at least see a justification for it. Alright. Characters. We want to do something with these characters. Not like Chaos can build some absolute beefy characters. Not having upgrades on them is criminal. And I don't mean that in that you're a bad person, but just leaving them. If you submitted a tournament list like this, I think you should be locked up. He said. It's a joke, legally. I like the Scimitar and the Blackened Plate, so that gets you to... it's a 4-up save on the Blackened Plate, and the Scimitar is just pretty decent. And then you've gone Slug Skin already, so we can't give you Gnarled Hide, but it does make you pretty tanky. You know, it's just a decent... Herdstone plus 3 Cygor. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, alright, let's just not beat around the bush. We're going to put a Herdstone in. Herdstones are super good. Obviously, there's now about 4 videos on the channel talking about them, so I won't go through too much. You had no idea on the characters. Yeah, no worries. No worries. So, like, the actual units you've picked are good, mostly. So, Wizard, good. Gorbul, I think, is a decent character. Beastlord is fine. In fact, screw the Beastlord. We don't want a Beastlord. We want a Doombull. I don't... If you're not using the Beastlord to get the best Sigorian core, I don't think there's a lot of point in taking it. But a Doombull... Now, a Doombull hits hard. So, what we can do is you can go... Do you want a Doombull that can paint with all the colours of the wind? I think you do. So let's go... Let's just go beefy, right? So we're going to go shield, we're going to go gnarled hide. Let's go uncanny sense as well. So you start off initiative 5. Yeah, so that gets you to initiative 6. That's probably unnecessary, because you're going to be charged by Strike's Last Chaos Lord. Okay. So we've got Ogre Blade, Heavy Chaos Armor, Gnarled Hide, and that just makes him pretty beefy, and he hits real hard. I don't think we need anything else in here. No, we don't. And then you probably go... You just flip around. So instead of going Gorbel and Beastlord, go Doombull and Wargore. And then this can be your BSB. And you can even just go Warbanner here, like depending on what you want to go. Give this character Slug Skin. And I'd probably still like to see something on him. So let's just go with the full plate Chaos Armor. Or you could give him Terror. We're not sort of leaning into Terror. This is just sort of like a generic good stuff Beastman list, I would say. So let's go... BSB Warbanner's just fine. You can tweak this. There's a lot of very good standards you can go. And then we'll go Great Weapon, full plate Chaos Armor. So you've got -1 to hit from the Slug Skin for the unit. Full plate for a 4-up armor save, a 5-up ward, so you're probably not falling over, and a great weapon so you can hit pretty hard. And that makes the characters much more appealing. Then you've got this character unit here. Definitely give the True Horn the great weapon. It's free. Other than that, pretty solid. Would I put anything in the unit? You could go... I mean... You could go any of them, but I don't know that I want anything here. You people who play with the super hard and the competitive, strong but fair is the vibe. Cool, that describes Beastman. This is like sort of the core to build around. So let's go. Okay, so you've got triple Razor Gore, you've got the Gore Herd bunker to put them in, and then you've got some Ungor. Ungor are fine. I don't hate them at all. They're like super okay. Where we're going to find the points is we're going to get rid of these 2 Razor Gore Chariots. Razor Gore Chariots are fine, but they're not actually particularly useful, unfortunately. And that just puts us 13 points over. So I can shave 5 points here, which would be 6 points per model, eh? Take ambushes off. 7 points. No, that's no good. I really don't want to get rid of the musician. I value musicians a lot. Okay, so do we shave 13 points here in any way? Tusker Chariot is correct. We haven't doubled up on anything here, have we? Gnarled Hide. Okay, we can shave the 13 points on this. Like, the full plate Chaos Armor is fine, but it is unnecessary if we're being efficient. You could literally just go Charmed Shield, Heavy Armor. Take or leave the Great Weapon. There's no point. It's not bad to leave it on. And then we can go... You've just got 18 points that you can add in at that point. Is there anything that you need? Is there anything for 18 points you really want here? No, nothing that super jumps out. You could go for the Bestigor unit that has the Banner of the Warped Moon, but I think that's going to get FAQ'd. I'm assuming it does anyway, because Falconhorn's going to, so I'm not going to recommend you put that in a list that's going to get changed very soon. But I mean, like, literally just, like, 2 more models. I think this is, like, a really solid starting point. This gives you, like, a really offensive brick here. So this Doomball will scare dragons, because you've got, like, decent static combat res, at which point, actually, we take the War Banner off here. You always put it on the unit. That's just the thing that I always say and then haven't done here, so let's change that over. Yeah, so you've got the BSB here. So you've got static combat res of Horde, right? No Horde? Yeah. So 3 ranks, Banner, War Banner for 5, BSB for 6, and then you've got the Doomball, who will, in theory, do, like, 2 to 4 wounds, even to a triple save dragon, like, in combat res. So you should win on combat res with the Doomball. And he survives the first round of punch. So, yeah, I think this is a solid place to start for just, like, a true blue Beastman list. And I think it won't be, like, nothing's going to be immune to the changes that are coming, but it is less likely to be hit by tweaks. Oh, and also double gigantic spawn is just a pain in the backside to deal with. But if you don't own them already, do hold off on buying them, because that's something that I could see getting tweaked. If you want to drop Gorgons, go ahead. Way ahead of you, buddy. Gorgon, more like Gorg no. I swapped the last 2 letters around. But yeah, that's, I think, a decent start. Now that you move the banner in core points, you can put the full plate armor back. I could do that, actually. That's a really good point. Thank you for pointing that out. So let's... Because I do like the full plate. Just having the the reliability of not immediately falling over gives me a little bit of joy. And then we'd be 5 points over. I'm not going to tweak the last 5 points. You can go Charmed Shield on the unit champion. That's actually just always a good buy. So that was super easy to fill. So then if we just go edit this, in fact, delete message. Lord Kipleston. Really good spot there, Charles. You print all your stuff anyway for Old World. Oh, fair play, fair play. Double giant spawner and automatic 3/2. It does kind of feel like that, yeah. They get you to the point where you should just run over the unoptimized lists. They're really strong. Speaking of things that are unoptimized, and I'm not flaming the list here, I'm flaming the detachment. We have another Seaguard list. Danny Mac has submitted this one. And I had to manually put this one in myself, so this is one that I did look at a little bit more closely. There was also some text to go with it, I believe. Let me just find that one. Working with something like this for SBot 360. Need banners for scoring, so I have 2 units of Reavers to hide and last turn or 2 switch to open order. Fair. Wanted to try something silly. You don't even necessarily have to swap to open order. You could start with them in marching column if all they're doing is hiding. That's probably the best way of doing things. Wanted to try something silly with 3 commanders since they get 75 points of magic items. General is packed with saves, might give him Armour of Kalador instead. One is the Dragon Slayer sword to deal with and/or scare monsters a bit, and last is trying to be fun. Thought of throwing in a Moen instead of a Phoenix for fun. Yeah, I think the problem you'll have here is, I'm not going to tweak this, but I will just address the issues. So this, if you want to kill a dragon, you're going to be hitting on 4s at best. You've only got 3 attacks to do so, so you've got 1.5 hits, and then you've got to roll a 6 with those 1.5 hits. On average dice, you ain't getting anywhere near, and that is concerning. And also, you don't actually live for a long time in combat with a dragon, because you're only 5 wounds. You're T5, 5 wounds with a 4-up armor save, a single 5-up ward, and a 5-up regen. However, if you're not taking this to sort of the top tables, this will make people be concerned about putting your dragon forward. So I do see value in it there. This one's meant to be the general. Talisman of Protection, Dragon Helm, Seed of Rebirth. That's fine. I think we definitely still just give him a Biting a Blade, because not having a great weapon or anything like that is a real shame. Then we've got this character here, which is Seed of Rebirth, Enchanting Shield, Armour of Meteoric Iron, Biting Blade. I think, again, we can just drop the Enchanting Shield for the Seed of Rebirth, right? Seed of Rebirth's just better. Oh, you've got it already, sorry. Drop it for the Charm Shield. That once per game 5-up ward is going to be more useful when you just need to not die to a cannonball, realistically. So that's slight tweaks on the characters there. I do have my concerns about the Dragon Slaying Sword, but there is a thing to do. Martin says those are some expensive characters. These are some cheap characters. As it stands in the current meta, you're expecting to see dragons for high elves, so you're expecting your characters to be like 500 points. But this lets you get 3 of them in, which is, I think, it's cool at the very least. So let's just double check. So you've got heavy armor, Dragon Helm, shield, so that gets you to a 3-up armor save, 5-up ward, 5-up regen, Biting Blade, that's fine. This one here has got heavy armor, Charmed Shield, so a 4-up armor save, 1-up, 5-up ward, and a Seed of Rebirth. Yep, cool. And then this one has got a 5-up save, so there's no need for a shield. We have got the shield for the ward save anyway. In fact, if we're doing that, you've got points for just an Opal Amulet, I think. So let's just pop that in. That's fine. It's a shame we can't give this one a great weapon, but they just don't come with them. Then we've got the big unit of Lothan Seaguard. I do like the Lawmaster's Cloak here, because they're very vulnerable to magic missiles. Razor Standard, full upgrades. So this is just like the big point sink Death Star, and then a couple of units of Ship's Company. If you're scoring, if you need scoring, is it better to not get rid of skirmishers and just go Standard Bearer on both of these? I'm not going to tweak it, but if you watch this back, consider doing that and just put them in marching column and hide them as well, and then they can march 15 inches to get where they need to in the late game. this, like, I think your army lacks serious punch. I think you're going to struggle, and not having any wizard as well really worries me. But I think in terms of the list theme that you've gone for, I think you've maximized it pretty well. So we do just need to tweak slightly. So we need to tweak. I guess we just have to lose the musician on the second squad to get you legal. So this is what I'm thinking in terms of how far in are we? 151, roughly 145. Cool. Because I think it's worth listening to the discussion about it. Because I do have concerns about the actual list itself. But I think within the confines of what we're working with, this is sort of the better version. And also, I think the Frostheart Phoenix way better than the Merworm. And I like the concept here. It's just maybe you don't bother going with skirmish. You just put them in marching column from turn 1, and you start them around the corner. Basically, that's probably what I'd do. Oh man, I am a thirsty boy. Thirsty boy. Alright, so we're on to Fingal, Grand Army. Aguma says, any spicy lists I missed? Yeah, we've had like double Seaguard, we've had a host of Taliesin, we've had 2 Heralds of Darkness, we've had 2 Chaos Dwarves. It's been a good list. Oh, go back to you don't have to do it now, Aguma, but at some point watch from about 20 minutes in, you'll see, or it might be a little bit earlier, maybe 10 minutes in, you'll see the list that Ed sent to me, which was literally burnt into wood. It's the commitment is impressive. I'll give him that. Okay, so Fingal submitted a Tomb King list, and I think there was some text with this one as well. The wooden plank, yeah, absolutely. Fingal says, my purpose is to work with terror. What do you think? Alright. Tomb King. This is a killy Tomb King. You haven't gone for the Armor of Ages, but I respect that. I think you may as well just go with some output. If the FAQ is true, I think this is meant to be going up in points or something like that, so this build stops working, but that's fine. I like it as it stands. Triple save is still really tanky. High Priest level 4, Necromancy, Ruby Ring, Lore Familiar, Warding Splint. You have to drop the Lore Familiar. This list just like gets so much better, I think, with wait, was it Necromancy? Yeah, you went Necromancy. Yeah, this list gets so much better if you have the reserve move spell. I think the reserve move spell is just sort of non-negotiable for Tomb Kings, unfortunately. But what you do is you go Earthing Rod. Otherwise, super fine there. Mortuary Priest level 2, Amulet of the Serpent, Elementalism. Unfortunately, no Lore Familiar here, so we're not guaranteeing TMP, but that's okay, because you haven't got that many archers. The Prince, when I was doing one of my coaching calls, actually, I had a look at this unit again, with the context of maybe this is good in an infantry world. I think it's interesting. So he's got Kapesh. So he's got 5 attacks that are AP1, strength 4, AP1. However, he's T3, he's only weapon skill 4. He does fly around, which is cool, fly 9. And he's a small character and he does cause terror. So I get the use of him there. That's interesting. I wonder if there's not enough support in here for Necromancy, but I do see what you're going with. I like that you've got the Casket of Souls and the Screaming Skull Catapult. They work well with Necromancy. The Necrosphinx is just good in general. Tomb King as well. Tomb Scorpion as well, sorry. I'd love to see a second one of these if we can squeeze it in, but I don't think we're going to have points. Like, maybe 2 Tomb Scorpions is better than a Prince here. Maybe. Maybe, maybe not. Hard to say. Hard to say. If we drop this down to a level 1, and we drop the Earthing Rod, which is really nice, but not a necessity, and we drop the ambushes, and then we just have to shave 2 points, we can get a second Tomb Scorpion in, which works really well, because obviously it's another... oh, this is only a Fear Causer, it's not even a Terror Causer. I think I still like it more, just having the additional thing in there. Here we can drop the Master of Horse. That's not doing anything for you. We'll have to find a way to put a point back in, but it's not actually giving you any real benefit. Chariot runners is fine. These chariots, I like what you're going for. So the death mask makes them cause terror, and the standard bearer is good as well. I would like to see a musician in here, which puts us a point over. That's so annoying. Maybe we just have to go, yes, the Master of Horse, and drop a model like so. I don't like doing that, but that might be the way that we get around the core changes. Razor Standard is really nice, because you're putting out a lot of, like, between the impact hits, and then you've got 2 models. Yes, you've got 2 crew and a charioteer and a skeletal steed. Sorry, so 2 crew, one of them's replaced by the charioteer. So each base, you've got 5 attacks on the champion, 4 attacks on the rest, D3 impact hits. There's enough dice there that Razor Standard starts being interesting. So I do like the idea of that. But yeah, I think this is interesting. This is... I see what you're going for with the terror causing, and I like the aspects that you've picked here. I'm not sure that terror causing is enough of a plan, so I do like that you've got, you know, like a little poison shooting brick. You have got the really killy Tomb King here as well. I think this plays to the concept pretty well. So I'm gonna link this, and I'm gonna at the timestamp, because I think the discussion is more useful than the actual changes I made. So if we go, what time are we looking at here? It was about 1:50-ish. King can properly drop Ogre Blade, and yeah, so you could go for the more defensive loadout, but I like the really killy loadout, and it's still like triple save. It's still really tanky. 4 up, 5 up, 5 up just doesn't fall over super easily, and an Ogre Blade, you know, you've already got that strength 5 in natively. You do only have 4 attacks, but I think it's interesting, especially with My Will Be Done, getting you up to weapon skill 7 or the additional movement. I like the build here. I think it's interesting. I wouldn't mind this going back up to level 2, but I just don't see how we make that without making another change. Like, we could drop the warding splint off the wizard, honestly, but yeah. We're sort of getting into the weeds a little bit with that, and I don't think it changes the thrust of the list. It's more efficiency on characters as to what you prefer, as opposed to being out and out what's better. Alright, so we've got Bragg's Chorf Renegades, and I'm not going to tell you off, but Bragg is one of my coaching students, and we did do a coaching, like, started off with a coaching game with some beastmen, and he says, I'm meant to be doing beastmen, but these irredeemable jerks are always my equivalent to the Green Goblin mask, tempting me to try and make them work, because this time it will be different and I can't change. I love that. I love that. So let's go through the list, and I think the list is pretty solid. So I like what you've gone for here in terms of the Death Shrieker. I think that's interesting. So the Death Shrieker is the only source of range D6 damage in the game, as far as I'm aware. Not this one, sorry. The Demolition Rockets. So it is only strength 6, so you're wounding dragons on 4s, but AP 3, Armor Bane 1, multiple wounds D6. They are interesting. They're okay. And they're only 120 points, which is kind of expensive for artillery, but it's not awful. I would prefer to go double Iron Demon, though, because I think that builds better with what you're going up here. So if we just talk about the rest of the list, what would we need to tweak to get there? Oh, man, we'd have to shave so many points out of characters. So if we're not doing that, you've got the unit. This is the Renegades pack. So Infernal Ironsworn, 400 points for only 14 models makes me feel sick, but Chaos Dwarves are so expensive. So you've given them Great Weapon Shields, which makes sense, full command, and then the Lamasu's Beard, which gives them a really nice ward save, a 6-up ward against all attacks, magic resist 2, and then units within range get magic 5-up ward save against shooting, and you get magic resist 1 as well. So that's really nice. I do like that. And then the Cutthroats are aggressively fine. I don't know that I care about them in 20s, but I don't know that I hate them in 20s. I don't, yeah. I think if we're, we'll come back to that. So the Infernal Castellan, I don't see a reason to go Dark Forge weapon on this guy. This is your like melee beater, right? So weapon skill 6 is fine, strength 5, 4 attacks. So you may as well give him a great weapon at the very least. Get him up to strength 7, which is nice there, AP2 as well. Armor of Destiny, Mantle of Stone. That's aggressively fine in terms of loadouts if you want to make sure you've got something beefy. So that gives you on the Bale Taurus as well, which obviously you can only do in the Renegades pack. So it gets you up to T6. It gets you that, I think, is it 7 wounds or is it 8 wounds? Yeah, 7 wounds. Your T7 because the Mantle of Stone. Armor of Destiny gives you a slightly better armor save. So you've got a 4 up armor save between the Armor of Destiny and a shield, and then you've got a 5 up ward save. Sorry, a 4 up ward save from the Armor of Destiny as well. We've got the Sorcerer Prophet here. Level 4, Lamassu, Elementalism. This is all just sort of like the classic. Armor of Silvered Steel for a 3 up armor save. Talisman of Protection, Ruby Ringer. This is good. The other thing you can do is play around with... it's 30 points for the Mantle of Stone, right? So you drop... I guess you have to drop the Ruby Ring of Ruin and go Talisman of Protection, Mantle of Stone, Armor of Meteoric Eye, and Power Scroll is the other way you can go. But I like this loadout. And then we've got the BSB with War Mana, Full Plate Shield, no other upgrades. I think here going for a Dark Forged weapon is not awful, because you probably want him to be using Hand Weapon Shield, just for the better save. And then theoretically you might get one of the good ones, like something in here. I guess the Magic Resist is not one of the good ones, given the unit he's going to be joining. But yeah, so like there's this, and then so if I copy this before I tweak it, what does it look like if we just go double Iron Demon? Because double Iron Demon is double good. Double good. The problem is you can't go for the Wyvern if you also want to have the Infernal Iron Sworn in core. It's like if you've got no Black Orcs and you've got an Infernal Castellan as your general, it's a bit limiting. So here we're 70 points over. I think realistically we just have to drop the Seneschal. Like I don't see a world where the Seneschal makes it in with the BSB. And if he's not carrying the important banner, I don't think he's needed. And I think at that point you probably just go something like... God, they're so expensive. 22 points a model. That makes me sick. We've got 11 points, which would be... I don't know if there's anything I really want to put in for 11 points. Double Iron Demon sounds great. Yeah, Double Iron Demon's really solid. Double Iron Demon is really solid. I do not want to give the Lamassu a Mace Tail, even though it would fill up the points. I guess we just go... let's think about the Hobgoblin Cutthroats. They don't have to be in 20s. So maybe we just run them in like 12s. We go 3 units of 12, something like that. No, 4 units of 12. Like, is this better? Let's not get too cute. Let's go a 16. A 16. Oh no, a 16 and a 15. Let's go 16, 16, 11. I think that makes the most sense. Something like this feels fine. Although you can go lower on drops. So I'm gonna post that one. And then again, that was like roughly like so. Yeah. So that was before I tweaked the core. But yeah, again, it's the discussion around that one. I think that's more important than anything else. Yeah, well, so that does take us to the end of all the lists I've got time to do today. As I say, I tried to fit about 15 in. What I will do is anyone who has submitted a list but wasn't done in the list there, I will put them in for priority for next week. So if you submit a list next week, even if you submit it, you know, to after the point where I run out of time to do more, I will put you forwards. Points disappear so fast building for Chorfs. They really do. They really, really do. It is difficult to find them. Chaos Dwarfs are a legal army in Old World. Do they still have models to forge? Well, still make them? No. So, Martin, there are things called legacy armies, and these are armies that they brought back with PDFs, but they don't have actual rules. So, yeah, they are supported-ish, is the way I describe them. But, yes, that does take me to the end, and I will be back, I'm sure, on Sunday. I do want to put something out on Sunday. I have a couple of ideas for videos that I want to put out, so I'm just going to work out which of those I do get to first. We'll see what we go with. And, yeah, hope you have a good weekend. What I'm going to do, and do not feel the need to hang around and watch it, I'm going to run an ad at the end, because that just seems like an efficiency thing that I could do. So if you're bored and you don't want to watch any more now, this is the end of the stream. If you're AFK and you've just got the thing on, then I may get a whole couple of pennies from you for running that ad at the end. So that feels like a good idea. Alright, have a great weekend. Catch you later.